conference will now be recorded.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Your microphone is the one that's close to that speaker.
Morning, County Commission meeting here for January 29th, 2021. It is now 9 o'clock, and I believe, if I'm right, Deidre's going to get online here and give us some updates. Deidre, are you online?
Yes, I am.
Okay, would you just hold up for a second? This is just for you and the group that you guys had for the deal the other day. Just thank you very much. We appreciate
Ready?
it 100%. You okay?
Thank you.
I would like to let the public know, I have a list here in front of me of all the people, and I'm going to read just the departments and a lot of the things that, I won't read all the names or anything like that, but Health Department, Marion County, CEO of Hillsborough Hospital, CEO of St. Luke Hospital, Commissioners, Planning and Zoning, Aging Department, St. Luke Hospital. Road and Bridge was scheduled there, but it snowed, and so they didn't make it, the way I understand it. Doc Hodgson, the county's health director. Let's see, there were some other doctors on here too, but both St. Luke and Hillsborough Hospital and some clinics, health departments. I don't know if I'm leaving anybody out. I'm sorry, except for, well, I will say that the county clerk brought dinner over to us. So, but it was very well run, and all the comments that us commissioners outside when we was parking out there when they was coming back out was, wow, it was very well organized. So it's a pat on the back to all the planning people, all the people that put something into that. No matter who you are, we want to thank you for what you've done. So now, does any other commissioner have anything else to say?
I just make sure Marcy,
Okay.
big shout out to Marcy.
Marcy, yes. Okay.
And all the nurses.
Nurses, yes.
From both hospitals.
Yes, it was a team effort. That's what was so very neat to see. Very proud of it. So, all right, Deidre, I'll let you go then and tell us what you got for us today.
Okay, so you were talking about this past Tuesday, January 6th was our first point of dispensing. You will hear us referring to that as a pod. This location we felt was very successful too. It was at the Marion County Fairgrounds. We vaccinated 170 residents. Out of that 200 doses that we had received, we had vaccinated 30 doses in-house here, and that included some were residents of a care facility. There were individuals in their 90s and also healthcare workers. So that's where that number, 170 were at the pod, 30 were off-site. Approximately 30 were vaccinated in their car, and that seemed to work well. In order to assist the large number of 65-year-olds in Marion County, we plan to conduct a pod every Wednesday in February. We will continue to work downward from the eldest to 65 years. The pods are conducted by appointment only. I would like to thank all the commissioners that helped. Thank you for working out in the cold. One of the comments that someone told me was a woman said, I just got escorted in by a commissioner and then greeted by the head of my hospital. Wow, what a day already.
That's cool.
So I want a big shout out to Jeremy Yenzi of St. Luke. He's the CEO. Mark Rooker is the CEO of Hillsborough Community Hospital, and they let their staff participate in this, and as Randy mentioned, it was wonderful. I heard many good comments about the observation station where Travis and Josh Clevenger were, how alert and kind they were. Keep in mind, I want to give a lot of credit to Marcy Hostetler. She's our Public Health Emergency Preparedness Coordinator, and she spent hours of planning and organizing this. So thanks to Marcy, this was a successful event. She sent out an email to Tina yesterday with identifying the dates, February 3, 10, 17, and the 24th, and then again March 3, 10, and 17. And we have not yet heard back from the Marion Fairgrounds if that's a possibility to use, but we are hoping that we can have it there. The pod will run 7:30 to 5. Appointments will be made 9 through the hour of 3, possibly 4, depending on how much vaccine we will have. Lunch breaks will be 12 to 12:30. So if anybody is interested from the county to work, please talk to Marcy. The positions needed include runners, greeters, and setup, which would be Tuesday afternoon. So please notify Marcy if you're willing to help. We probably won't be giving all 200 doses out at the pod because we have healthcare workers that are continuing to come in. We do have some residents of long-term care facilities that if they just come into the facility, they may need a vaccination. So we'll probably have about 20 spoken for. So we are trying to make at least 180 this time. And we hope that we will continue to get 200 doses, but we just don't know. I do want to read.
When you say facility, you're talking about the health department office, correct? For the
Yeah,
shuttles
we
in
gave
between.
them, you mean, we give the 20 extra either in our facility or make arrangements if they're residents of a long-term care facility, we make those arrangements.
Okay, cool.
So I did want to read an email that Gayla received from an individual that brought their elderly parents to the pod. And I know when I read it, it brought tears to my eyes, but I'm going to go ahead and read it. I don't know who sponsored the vaccine clinic, but I'd like you to know how impressed I was with the entire process. We were met in the parking lot, but by what I assumed was a volunteer who guided us to the building. There was someone who helped my folks out of the vehicle and into the building. I was shown where to park while I waited. Someone came and told me approximately how long it would take and came back and got me when they were ready to leave. My folks were helped out of the building and helped back into the vehicle. All involved were happy and helpful. I would appreciate it if you could pass along my thanks to whoever coordinated this. So thank you to everybody who participated with this, because that is truly what makes the dispensing successful. Are there any questions?
I'll open up to commission.
On your thing, you said 7:30. Are you starting shots at 7:30? You're starting setup at 7:30.
We will start setup at 7:30. We want to have a team meeting. We're going to have a microphone there so that we can have a team meeting so that all the workers can truly be briefed at 8 o'clock. So we want everybody in their stations ready to work by 8:45. And then we'll actually start giving vaccinations at 9.
Anybody else?
Is there any chance we could get a tent for the outside?
we can address that, yes. And we don't know what the weather would be, but it would be nice for some of that, what if it's raining or something? That would be very nice for those, she just said 20 or so we give outside shots too. So,
Yeah,
I
there
think we can
were
address that.
approximately 30. So yeah, we could see about that tent and maybe set it up. I know Marcy is already kind of working on it, and she was going to locate, I believe Midway Motors is helping with at some place outside. And she said they would be like sitting in their trucks waiting as people come in. But I will definitely mention that to Marcy, and we will take that consideration.
Pretty bitterly cold, and the wind didn't help anything, so it would have been nice to have at
It's
least
gonna be 50 this week.
Yeah.
to let people know to come here. Some people were trying to park too far away, and it's like I had to run out and get them.
Are you talking about a walled tent?
Just something, yeah. Just
We have a drive-through tent. When emergency management has 2 or 3 tents, we just have to find a location to put it up.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
I don't know where we put it up.
Actually, those tents were given to the health department through KDHE Sparks money. So we were going to give each hospital one. Hillsborough Hospital took theirs. St. Luke's is trying to find storage for it because they're rather large. But the health department does have one available for use. It does take maybe, I know, 4 or 5 people to put it up because it does have a section that can be zipped closed and then a drive-through section.
Okay. Especially on our location where we was at the other day, north, like it just depends on the wind, but to block the wind off of the cars when you open them up for the outside shots would be a great deal. Like the north side block down the other day would have helped the nurses and everybody else, I think, in our situation the other day. But no, I think we'll work on that and see where it's at. But it is a drive-through, the one that you're talking about.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it has a section.
Has a
I
room
can
in
maybe send
covered driveway.
to, because Mark had sent me a picture when it was set up. Let me see if I can forward it to Tina.
Okay. Well,
I'll
also,
email.
if we're going to drive, I don't know whether this one takes stakes like my tent does. My tent is a fireworks tent, and it takes stakes and things like that. So we need some locates out there and stuff just to make sure we don't do that. I mean, just a little more preparation needs to happen.
It has weights on the bottom.
Okay.
I sent a picture to Tina
Okay.
on her email, but it looks like it has weights. I know when the 3 came, it was like, we had to have a forklift to unload it.
Yeah. Yeah. That vinyl is pretty heavy. Very true. Mm-hmm.
And I think the location we're in now, I don't think there's not enough room to put one up out front.
Really? That big?
I think so. I mean,
Okay.
but that's something we'd have to
Yeah.
take
Have
a
to
tape
see.
measure and
Okay.
draw lines on the ground and see.
Okay.
Yeah, and Marcy would know more about
Right.
that.
I think it went off
So,
very well.
speaking of
We can
Marcy,
always improve.
Oh, there's a picture of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll work.
Cool.
We'd have to take care of that mud puddle.
I'm darn. Well, yeah, I see that. I don't know exactly what kind of framework in the peak there. I don't know. Mine has a center pole in it where I don't see it. That's different. Okay.
if you look where those 2 black stripes are, there's a zipper in there so
Right,
that
okay.
you can come in and out.
Oh, cool. Is that set up? Where's that set up right now? Is that set up in the fairgrounds?
No, that's set up at the
FFA.
our countryside.
Countryside, yeah, right outside the building out there. Yes. Okay.
That was just set up there so they could see what it looked like and how big it was, how many people it took to set it up.
Right.
And the hospital, Hillsborough, came over and helped set it up.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's just across the street.
Yeah.
All righty.
Good, that'll work.
I think that would work very nicely if we feel that we need to go ahead, especially with that many shots on it. I don't know, or once we get down to a younger age, do you feel that there'll be that many shots outside, or the nicer weather you
No.
may move to outside?
Right. I think in the nice weather, we can move it to outside and just use tents, you
Okay.
know, for the stations. However, we're still working our way down through the 80s.
Yeah.
So we, I feel like that, you know, we're going to be inside for a little bit.
Yeah, okay. Okay, good enough.
Now, I did want to mention, I mentioned last week about considering paying health department staff overtime rather than having them accrue comp time. And I wanted to make sure that Marcy is included in this because she is a preparedness coordinator, public health emergency preparedness coordinator. So that's something to consider. Marcy and I today are going to Reno County. They have a pod set up because we want to try to observe that, and the arrangements are made that they're going to walk us through, and hopefully we'll gain some other knowledge and helpful hints that we can run ours even smoother.
Well, that's good thinking, very good observation and stuff, because even though everybody's trying to do their best and what they can, but even, I think it was last night I heard of another county that had maybe 800 people when they only had 200 shots or something. And so that's...
Yeah, that was an open vaccination clinic.
Yeah, and so that just, you know, I think we know that the people are willing to come to wait for the shots, but we got to have some sort of organization, and that's what we're striving for, some sort of organization so it can be run like the first round went the other day.
Right, and I think that, I mean, some of you might have been here during H1N1. I know I was, and we did not have the preparation like we have with the COVID vaccine, so we didn't have to schedule appointments, and people were actually waiting in line like blocks, and we would run out of vaccines. So with the preparation, storage, and handling of this vaccine, it is more conducive to schedule appointments. Now, should we ever come to a point when we get a significant amount of vaccine, we might open that up, but that would take some very careful considerations.
Yeah. And then the other thing that somebody outside the group called me and talked about is the standing waiting list, which you said you had some waiting list on, so the people that was on the appointments did not show up, is maybe a waiting list for that. That's the only other thing that I've heard from a person that said, you know, that might be a possibility. And I said, I think Deidre's talked about it, but I'll mention it to her.
Yes, we will have a kind of like an on-call waiting list. What we're trying to do is, if we can fill it with someone in the 65 and older group, we will. Otherwise, we may go to some of the others like law enforcement, some first responders, if we can't get age appropriate.
Okay. Deidre, thank you for the job, and the rest of the people with you, and the planning and zoning that not planning and zoning, just the planning and preparedness that was done months ago when this first started, that maybe we didn't know about as a commission, but we do know about now, and it showed itself the other day, so thank you.
Well, thank you. That's all I have.
Okay. Take care. Okay. on the agenda is payday, administrative business, public comments, commission comments. But somewhere I'd like to add executive session with the commission only for personnel performance. That's one thing I'd like to add. The other thing I'd like to add is what Deidre just mentioned. I think we need a discussion about overtime pay and just sort of see what we can do, see what that, I don't know what it's, what it's going to involve or anything like that, but we'll put that on here. How about right after administrative business, we'll go with overtime pay, and then after that, either the public comments, commission comments, and then executive session for personnel.
I would be in favor of executive after the public comments.
After, okay, all righty.
That way the meeting.
Yes.
And
Okay,
So
we
we're
can do
looking at
that.
it
Yes, yes. Okay, Tina, I'll let you take over for payday. Unless somebody, in commissioner has anything else? Okay.
Okay. Let's see, sales tax in here yet. We have the payday figures here. The grand total payday is $1,351,117.19, and that includes payroll of $575,319.66. And then you have the report with the warrants was in your packet. And you have the hard copy here on the table.
Yes.
So if you have any questions or need to look at any invoices, please let me know. We did have some payments to Western Associates, which you have that report separately, and that would need to have a separate approval.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the portion for Western Associates at $394.54.
A motion by Jonah, do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Kent Becker. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I abstain.
Dave abstained. And see, there is none for Alcon Electric this month, no payments, so,
Okay, did everyone vote?
yes,
Okay.
4-1.
I do like the way that those warrants are segregated.
Yes.
I like that at
It,
this time.
You can focus a little bit better.
Do I hear a motion for payday figure, $1,351,117.19?
So moved.
Kent made the motion, do I hear, I'll second it. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Okay, then I'll just need you to sign the payroll board and the warrant book. You do have the sales tax figures in your packets. Sales tax was $66,922.43.
Up from last year. Sales tax, why 2019? Does anybody know why it's higher than, just for my own understanding?
Which figure are you looking at?
2019 in January. All the other years gonna fall into the 54 range. But 2019 and this year are both. I don't know what was going on around at the time that.
I don't, it's, sometimes you can't follow, I mean, we was able to follow it well, but maybe while the pipeline was in here and wind farms was in here and stuff, but sometimes.
I was just wondering if that was some of it, just
pipelines during the spring and the summer.
What's the delay? So the month
2
was-
months.
So it's 2 months, so the January figure would be from November of the previous year?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Does that correlate with anything?
Well, that's what I'm trying to think.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Well,
just-
18 is when the wind farm
Yeah, it
came
could be a
in.
residual wind farm.
And of course, 2020 have been up just because I
That
think
doesn't make sense, because you look at 2018.
we've had a lot more people spending their money in the county.
Look at the last half of 2018.
Yeah, yeah,
Look at
that's pretty well
73,
told.
75, 74.
Yeah, you can
70.
see exactly when it started.
Yep, yep.
Just keeping an eye on the prize here. What
Good question.
target we want to hit?
Yeah, I guess the person don't know.
Okay, I have a signature card for the bank that needs the chairman's signature.
Okay.
So,
Do I hear a motion for the?
So moved.
for the- Okay, so Joe made the motion.
Randy, can I checks?
Do I?
line C, if you can fill
Second.
that out and with
Okay.
all your info there. Okay.
I'll second that.
Have a motion by Joan, a second by Dave for the chairman to sign the bank card. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous.
I need more than 5 minutes.
Say what?
I need more than 5 minutes.
Hour and 55 minutes would be
Yeah.
closer.
Oh,
Get home and
I took 2.5 last night, and I didn't even comb it like I should have.
It's rather eye-opening.
I've gone through the other ones.
Just that line there is almost right.
Yeah.
But the good question on sales tax, it's in there, it does correlate almost exactly with construction.
Mhm.
It's good to see that stuff.
Because it did in,
So that's fuel, a lot of fuel tax and
Sure.
stuff like that.
sure,
But
because construction ended that year.
Restaurants and,
It started,
Sales
if
tax.
you move them all back 2 months,
yeah.
then it lines up. Amazing.
And then this year, we
This is
will
still under.
look forward
Yes.
to
Under admin.
the
Yeah.
pipeline, 10-year exemption off in 2021,
Right. That will come up on property tax. though.
plus wind farm construction, south, sales tax.
But the
Okay.
pipeline is property tax.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got change orders coming
Would you
around.
commissioners let Tina talk again, please?
Sorry.
Sorry.
Well, I'm just
Sorry,
saying
Mr.
we have
Chairman.
change orders, that's all.
I just got scolded a little bit, they're gonna scold me if I goof up, so.
Yeah, when you don't say the executive session, right?
Yeah. And we go back a prior year on that, when something comes up, is that what, I see I have a prior year on that person. And the list is heavy again.
Just about.
professional.
That'll work.
I'll try to do that every time, so
Okay. I'm gonna get an A today. There's no way I can fail.
Now you said yourself wrong.
do you have the minutes of January 25th?
Has everybody had a chance to take a look out? But Dave says he needs another hour.
I did get the minutes right.
Okay.
That was the first thing I did. I thought that would be first.
Oh, okay, all righty. So, do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve January 25th.
Second.
And have a motion by Jonah and second by Dave Mueller to approve January 25th meeting minutes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Same sign as opposed. Nope. In favor. I'll sign that one.
I looked over there and I saw that first big yellow pen and I thought you were using a highlighter.
Yeah, that's what I thought earlier.
Observation is keen around this place.
I was watching them come around and realized it wasn't a highlighter, so I didn't say anything.
Okay. Wanted to check with you about whether we're going to meet on Monday, the 1st. Since you had 2 meetings this week, do you want to go ahead and meet on Monday, or do you want to not meet? Sometimes, you know, it doesn't matter to me. I just...
Does any commissioner have something they'd like to put up there on that? I mean, what's up there right now? Is that just some scheduling?
up there right now is just public comments. What else?
Administrative COVID update, road and bridge, deeds.
Might open it up for anybody. Any commissioner would like to put something item that we need to...
What was the issue with registered deeds?
Nothing, it's just a report.
Oh, just quarterly
Yeah.
routine reports. not
Yeah.
Quarterly report, right?
Yeah, it's just that sometimes when you meet twice in 1 week,
Yeah.
and you've met on the Friday, and
Yeah.
then haven't always chosen to meet the next Monday, so before we start scheduling business, just wanted, you know, if you're meeting or not.
You give us a date for the payroll meeting?
Yes. The 8th.
The 8th.
On the 8th,
Okay, and that's in the afternoon
Yes,
at 1 o'clock,
yes.
okay?
That's on the 8th.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. We're gonna talk some about evaluations.
Yeah, I have that on for today.
Oh, okay.
So if you want to go ahead and meet on Monday, that's fine. I'm sure we'll have some things that get scheduled. And I will tell you, we did have a few checks that were, we had invoices turned in late or that we need to get done. But, so we'll have early checks for whichever one of those Mondays.
Okay.
We have the quarterly, I think the quarterly allotments for CDDO and Prairie View and the Soil Conservation District that didn't get put in on this one. So those will be coming.
Those will be coming.
And then there's some, I think Road and Bridge had some invoices that we didn't get, so.
And Dave, you reiterated about, you know, you'd like to have a planning session, so a little off workday session in regards to storage space and stuff like that.
That's
And
good.
so, you know, I've just, and I don't know, we're gonna have to work something up to have Tina go through the different things and have that. You can probably be planning on that for some time, Tina.
Well, I could give you an update on where we are with that, because what the board advised me or
Okay.
mentioned that I should be doing was to contact WSU, the policy, and so I did contact them this week, and they are interested in doing that. They're working up a proposal, and so I've been in touch with the correct person.
Okay.
I haven't gotten that back yet, so I just heard yesterday that it has been sent on to the correct person, and they're gonna be working up the proposal to send to us. And they said that they would be willing to do in person as long as we can do the social distancing and have the hand sanitizer and the masks, so.
Good.
Should we go ahead, should we go ahead and hold the Monday meeting even though it may be short?
Yeah, I have no problems with it.
Just to clean up the checks, keep us, otherwise, that next Monday's gonna be a big day.
Yes, it will, yep.
Yeah, the 8th, yeah. Okay.
Does that sound all right?
Anybody else have any? It'll probably be a short meeting, but let's be
fine.
here in case anything else comes up over the weekend.
Okay.
Throw it on there.
Came in for the 5-minute meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do that too, so.
All right.
If there's anything else that we can think of, then I'll try to spend some time this afternoon. Is there anything anybody wants to investigate, to try putting on anything so we can see if we can get it on the agenda? I'll talk to you, Tina, and see if there's anything else that you have. That we need
Okay.
to clean up some of our back items and things. It's the list.
Okay.
Okay.
I haven't made you on the list in a long
No, you
time.
haven't. That's right.
I gave up on that, but I can start doing that again.
We're turning over a new leaf.
Salary
Got a
change
salary
for-
sheet there.
Salary change for Shannon Allen from 2538 to 2586, effective 1/3/21. 6-month raises, or was he just hired? That's 6-month raise, correct?
Yes.
6-month raise, equipment operator 2.
I had some more of these. I'm gonna have to go check and see if I have more of those salary sheets. So the other two things that I had And one of them was the same thing that Deidre brought up. And so since you've added that to the agenda, we'll wait on that one. But
Okay.
on the employee evaluations, you had said we would talk about that today.
Okay.
Well, we did not get the paperwork sent out. Generally, we send those out in November, October, November, and that's when we're doing evaluations. And we've done them for the year, that year prior. So from October to October. And this year that did not happen. We did not have the
That's
paperwork ready. And the paperwork is ready to send out now. But I was also wondering what you want the evaluation period to be, and then also if it would be feasible if the board would have any issue with us moving that evaluation period as we move forward, so that if we did it in March and April, that's a lot more manageable for our office, because we always have elections in August through November, and last year we had a beast of an election plus COVID, so.
Yeah. I will go from there then,
Okay,
unless
yeah.
you have something else.
No, I don't.
Okay. Bryce was first calling me about this and talked about it, and he's very adamant that he would like to get over his people and do that. And while I was thinking about it, I said, you know, we're not looking back, we're looking forward here. And when I mentioned it to Tina, then she mentioned that maybe change the date of it so that it is ahead of the budget and stuff like that. And if that's all possible with any of the commissioners, I think this is a year to do it, probably, due to the timing and things, the way things are, that we make that this year's, and then there would be a full year from this time of the year till next year's. And we could, you know, that could be after the end of the year, then you would start after the end of the year probably and get into it then. And would your due dates probably be from February to?
I would think that we would maybe want to do them, like get them ready and sent out in February, have them due in March, and
Okay.
have the evaluation period be, you know, it could be the previous
Does the end
calendar year, or it could be, you know, I don't want to like put it off too far, because you forget things, but.
Well, if you put it in February, does that, how much end of the year stuff would that be, do you need more time? for the end of the year
If we
stuff?
had it to where we could send out the forms mid to late February,
Yeah.
like, and then have it to where the evaluation period would be from, like ending the beginning of February, you know, once you get, so since our last evaluation period ended in October a year ago, this time you would be evaluating from the time that was
Ended.
cut off until,
First of the year.
well, it would be a whole year plus a few
That
months.
would, yes.
Right, and then once we establish what the timeline is moving forward, because I would like people to be able to be doing those in February or March, you know, so if we could get them out mid-February, they would have till mid-March to have them done. And you could cut off either at the end of the year, like do a calendar year, January to December, and then have them due in February, March, or you could go ahead and include the January.
Give me the due dates that you was at,
Well, we were,
started.
it was never set in stone, but we always tried to have those. We've been sending them out in October and having them due in November.
Yeah.
And then then the idea was if you were gonna do a merit raise, which that has been a long time since
Right.
you've utilized the evaluations and done a merit raise. I don't remember the last one, but then we could have them processed and ready to put on for the January pay period. Now, you could do it just as easily, do them, like, send them out, have the evaluations done during March and April, receive back, process, and put them on for July, or, you know, the July, that's a 6-month. And if you do merit, it's easier to do do them at the half-year point. The way it was suggested in the past was, if you do cost of living, do it in January. If you do merit, do it in July. You know, do it that staggered like that. But we've never really gotten into that cycle of doing.
So tell me,
you
the
know.
way I hear you is the forms would go out mid-February to late February. The period would be from March through April to return them? Or
Yeah.
2 months?
Yeah.
2 months for the departments to return them.
February, March.
February, be March and April, wouldn't it?
Well, if we sent them out in the middle of February, they'd have till the middle or end of March to have them done and
Okay.
back. And then, see,
Month and a
once
half,
they
okay.
come back, the commission reviews them all. And so all of those things take time.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's what I was getting at, and what I see from Road and Bridge is a lot of times when they're trying to hurry up to get their last projects done at the end of the year, that's also the time they're trying to do the evaluations, and it's their busy time trying to do it at the end of the year, so I don't know whether this will help them in any way, or.
Well, and then going, you know, if you do it early to late spring, then that's also a busy time for other departments, perhaps, like Road and Bridge, but for us, it's definitely more doable with the paperwork in trying to, because in November, not only do we have elections, we also have the abstract and keying in all the budgets, getting the tax
Yeah,
statements
let's-
generated.
let's get away
It's
from that.
basically impossible.
Let's get away from
Yeah,
that.
you would have December 31st to January 1. I mean, the whole 12-month, and then evaluate in February and March.
Yeah, you could do that. You could do January to December,
Yeah,
and
easy days
then
to-
just do the evaluation of that time period in February, March.
So it'd be the preceding year before we hand them out, okay?
Right.
Have department heads said anything or given any input?
I have some department heads that have been asking why they don't have the evaluation forms. And I just said, well, that's just because we haven't had a chance, and I apologize. But I think it would be nice if we could change that timeframe.
Okay.
I do like your plan for the time frame. It'd still go with an annual year review.
Right,
Do those reviews, I call it late winter. Have them
right.
out, and then if the commission goes at some time to merit raises, they could be instituted.
Yes,
That makes a good, that calendar seems to fit, if it fits good for the other department heads.
Okay, now we've talked it amongst us. Would you like Tina to send out a memo to department heads and give them tentatively what we've talked about and get a recourse from the
I
department
thought
heads?
if the commission could come up with a proposal, and working with Tina, and then Tina talk to the department heads and get their input before we make a final decision on the process. Does that make sense?
Does to me.
I mean, I would go ahead and do it today.
Yeah.
Go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
I'm liking the
Because
plan.
they're looking for direction. I mean,
Right.
everybody's gonna be all over the board. Everybody's
well, I
gonna-
can check and make sure that that's feasible for everyone.
Right.
And if
Yeah.
you meet on Monday, I can, you know, let you know, but.
Okay.
it doesn't
Everybody's
matter.
busy all year round.
Yeah.
And I
There is
guess,
no slow time anymore in anything.
and I guess I would go ahead with doing the previous year, get the previous year out. That's a high priority.
Mhm.
We need to signal to our employees that we need to review them. We value their work. We want to
Yeah.
see that those reviews are done and done properly.
So the previous year though, instead of January to December,
Right.
we're gonna do October to December of this year.
Yes.
Right, right.
Okay,
October 19th to December.
Cover what we've,
Right,
what
2020.
we've missed and
Good.
Yeah.
go forward.
14 months.
Yeah, okay.
October
Good.
19th
Yes.
to 20.
And then we'll be back onto a 12-month cycle.
Yes, I just want to make sure we're not skipping.
No, we're not.
skipping a year.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
That 1 year will be longer just to make the transition.
Yeah,
Right.
we'll make
There
that
wasn't any
decision.
hole there then.
Good,
Yeah.
good. That I agree.
So I'm sort of getting the feeling that we're gonna move ahead, so I guess if I hear a motion to do something like that, I could sure ask for a second.
I would move that we propose, or you want to get approval from the department heads of this. We want to do evaluations from January 1 to December 31st every year, and send out the forms mid-February, have them due back by mid-March.
Correct, with the exception that we will go back to October of 19
For this.
This
for the
year.
first round,
Evaluation.
October of 19 to December 31st of 2020 for the
Yes.
first round. That's your motion?
Mhm.
Do I hear a second?
One second.
Kent second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, 5-0.
But
There's a lot to that motion, so I was trying to.
Yeah.
We're
Tino's.
gonna do 14 months the first time.
There's a first step
Yep.
and then an ongoing. step.
Ongoing, yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Kind of like-
I think that'll definitely be helpful for us.
Yeah.
Not only in trying to get the forms out, but in me trying to do my evaluations for my folks. Probably help the treasurer as well. So,
We
okay.
need to do stuff that makes sense. There's too many things that
Yeah, I
get
think
done
you're-
that don't make sense. It just
Yeah.
need to make sense.
Yes.
Okay, so we will be scheduling some time on the commission calendar for you all to do your evaluations of the department heads.
Yes.
Just, so that's what, you'll have times where you meet to complete those, and then we'll have time scheduled for you to meet with the department heads to review them. So, just so you all know what the next steps would be.
Okay.
And then there'll be time for you to have to review everything that all the department heads have done with their employees, so, okay. And just give you some, is it okay if I give you some background on the overtime pay
Yes,
situation? So back earlier, once COVID had really started and we were seeing that the emergency preparedness coordinator was having a lot of overtime, you did approve to pay overtime, but it was being reimbursed by Spark. And so I think that was part of what the agreement was. And so Spark reimbursements have ended. And so this pay period, we went back to a comp time situation on that position.
Okay.
Because it would take action of the board to continue paying that out as overtime. And so that, it doesn't look like that position is going to be less busy at this point. And so
Not at least for the next
just,
foreseeable
so
future.
just know that any of that overtime is not budgeted and will not be reimbursed by another source, so.
Okay. But I don't see that as just one person. I see that as this list. I mean, there's the health department people. I don't know. You've got Deidre, Jessica, Marcy, and
Some of those people are salaried.
Lori.
right?
Huh?
Some of those people are salaried. So there wouldn't be overtime.
So your department heads do not get overtime.
You paid overtime to Deidre.
No, we didn't. You
No,
paid her a
you paid her.
one-time pay
Okay,
adjustment, which
pay
was
adjustment,
paid
okay.
through a grant, and
then-
it was
and
a
you've got-
sizable amount.
And
but
you've got
you
Sherry, Sherry Moody, Kenneth Johnson, no, that's Hillsborough, excuse me. Neither one of those two are. Health department, but I'm just looking, there's, how many employees is there, 7 or 8?
I guess that,
The only motion that we made, I believe, was for the emergency management assistant.
right.
Assistant.
At that time, but what is Deidre asking?
But there's some
Well,
nurses up there too that.
I would have to
shots.
kind of, I'm not really sure exactly which individual she's talking about, and some of those people aren't our people that you're reading.
Yeah, some of
So,
them are.
I think if we, yeah.
Would it be health department employees?
I think maybe I need to gather some information for you, and then maybe on Monday's
Bring it Monday.
meeting, then you can discuss it further,
Yes.
because
Yeah.
some people are already being paid hourly in the department, in that department. And it's just this one position that I know of that is not, but I wonder if the position should just be transitioned to hourly with overtime. You know, and that would just be it. And, you know, for that one position. But I guess maybe get a little bit more information for you and come back, because the way that the majority of the departments are set up in the county is we are all paid a set amount each month, even if they're not a salaried, like a exempt person, exempt from overtime, which all the department heads are. But so their hourly rate fluctuates each month. We pay them a set wage, but then they earn comp time instead of cash overtime. And that is because of budget, okay? Because we're a public agency and we're funded with tax dollars. That's the reason that was set up that way. There has been some push to maybe think about just doing away with that and paying, you know, like even during election times, the election clerk earns a ton of comp time and is not ever paid more, but she's always working a lot of hours. And so there are different situations where it comes up where it's.
Requires a different way of budgeting also.
Yes,
Because
it
now,
does.
now you're looking at possibly paying overtime.
Right,
there's no budget. So
Right.
then, okay, so where do you go? You go to risk management, you start robbing Peter to pay Paul, and it's outside of the budget process.
And I wouldn't really recommend taking it out of any other budget except the department budgets, because it's really easy to spend somebody else's money than it is
Yes.
your own budget,
Yes.
so.
Yes, and we just heard about February, March, but I got April, May, and June.
Yeah, that's what I mean, you're talking about a sizable dollar amount.
Right.
And 4 times a month, and then on our director, I mean, like Marcy, she's gonna have extra time to prepare for each day. I just know that, you know, she stated that when we was putting the cones and things up, the stuff, that she, you know, she has to go over the inventory and things like that. So I see extra time involved here. And then not only that, we're already, I don't know what it may be minimal, it may be less than $100 a meeting for us to provide food and stuff like that, but it may be $500 too, a meeting. So, you know, I don't know what the fee is gonna be to provide stuff for each one of these meetings and stuff like that.
It was $163 for the sandwiches and chips,
Yeah.
and not for any of the other
Yeah,
items,
I think there was-
drinks or
you know,
whatever.
just-
So
So-
$200.
That was
At
just for the
least,
dinner. I
yeah.
mean, there was donuts and things. I don't know who donated that. or
Somebody
who
brought
bought
them.
them,
I think that was the pharmacy in Hillsborough.
That's up to the police to donate the
Those.
donuts.
Police didn't show up.
Well, Dwayne did.
Well, yeah,
But,
brought his mother.
But it's just one of them things that I don't have a handle on what it's gonna cost to put that on.
Well, nobody does, I mean.
Yeah.
Well, you won't until you've gone through a month of it.
Yeah.
I mean,
You might have a better idea.
Do we pay rent to the fair board, and stuff like that?
That's something we need to talk about.
Yes, yes.
I was gonna hold off to the commission comments on that one, but.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there's some expenses that we need to look at.
Yeah.
Definitely, what we're all saying. And, so, but right now we're on payroll, and I had a hard time saying, and even though one person deserves it, but the other person may be hourly too that's there, and she may be working a few extra hours too, and she's gonna, or her or him, gonna have to go to, comp time. I wanna treat everybody fair. is what I'm
Yeah, I
looking
mean,
I
if
think
they,
Tina will bring us some more
they're
information.
gonna be there from 7:30 to 5, that's more than 8 hours.
at. Yeah.
And we're doing that every week for the next 8 weeks.
The other day, Marcy started, they was pulling out at 6:30 in the morning to get set up and
Yeah.
everything, so. So, yeah, Tina, thank you for bringing us more information.
Just one follow-up comment.
Yes.
And I appreciate, keep all the expenses, and obviously you are to put in mind that perhaps down the road there may be another reimbursement or Sparks night. You never know.
Right.
I think it's coming.
We hope, but we can't.
But at the
Can't
same
bank
time,
on it.
these are expenses need to be done, we need to handle it right, we need to continue, we need to do it, whether it is reimbursed or not. And with the information Monday, we can make that decision on the salary, or on the overtime.
Overtime. Okay. And I just wanna, you know, I don't know if any other departments will have any due to it.
Well, I would say some will, but it's not going to be their primary function, you know,
Yeah,
and it's
right.
probably easy enough to absorb, you know, and it's gonna be very tricky to try to say, well, for this day, we're gonna pay the overtime to this individual, but the rest of the time we're not.
Yeah.
That's, I would really not like to
Can't
get
do
into
that.
that,
No.
you know, that wouldn't make sense for us, for bookkeeping.
Okay. I think we got some thinking to do and sort of planning and help whatever we can do, and it's definitely a positive to think about. Okay, what else do you have?
I believe that was all. I do want the commission to maybe consider, of course, we're discussing the pay plan next week, so I don't want to like have any action, but the way we've been doing our raises is based on the promotion date for longevity. And that has caused some issues with some people in some departments that have worked for the county for a long time that have made them ineligible for longevity when other people that come in and haven't worked as long have been eligible. And so it has caused some issues with some people that haven't been here very long making as much or more of some people that have been here a long time. And one way to help correct that would be if starting this year, we would be able to go by the higher date for longevity rather than the promotion date. So just something to think about. I feel like this should have probably been done 2 or 3 years ago, and it would have made things a bit smoother with our pay plan transition.
Does that have something to do with like title changes, I mean,
Yeah,
stuff like that?
so like if somebody goes from an EO1 to an EO2,
Start at
then
the
they
bottom.
start at
Starts
the
the clock
bottom
again.
of the pay scale for that position, and their
Yeah, it's a-
longevity starts at the time
It's an issue for
they
a long,
moved.
long time.
We have one that's,
That makes sense.
yeah,
Best not to take the promotion.
well, I mean, it doesn't,
They don't have a choice.
it can hold them back even with the way the pay is being done. And I know why we did it in the beginning is all new. It was like 2013 or 14 when we started doing that. And then it took a few years and we realized, hey, this isn't really working quite right. But it wasn't any corrective action that was taken at that time. So I just want you to be in thought about that, because I know it's been a point of contention with some employees.
I will take another department over there that I know of
Yeah.
that's sitting over in a position, been there a long time. and
That's
hasn't
the
got
one
nothing.
particularly.
And I think she has even written a commission letter before any of you, I believe. Maybe not Kent, it was a few years back, but, written a letter to us about it, that, just please do something about it.
I've got about 3 or 4 pending right now. That should be in January if we go by the higher date, but because we go by promotion date, they are not eligible. So that's one.
I'm gonna take a straw poll.
So it
here.
hasn't hit it, it's not always been,
We didn't have longevity before 2013 or 14.
okay.
Yeah.
And so when we started that, added that to our pay plan at the
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
that's the way we did it.
It's hard to foresee when you first start.
Right.
Something like that.
So,
But it would be an easy fix for some of these positions, was to put them at the pay band where their years wanted them to be.
But yet, the other side of this story is what happens if we go to the pay plan and we decide to do some things and get away with it, longevity, do away with it.
Well, I will tell you that you're still gonna have that same problem, because right now you do have longevity, and the pay plan that we looked at doesn't address it at all. And once it's separate, which is fine, but that means if you do go to it, those people will never be addressed that have been here all those years.
right, so
So,
You need the longevity, because, like, in my organization, we got 3 different companies, 3 separate books, 3 everything. But once they come to work for my family, if we move them to a different company, they've still got 3 years of service. And some people have been in all 3 different divisions, and they still got the 20, 25 years of service. They don't start over, and I think that's
right, that's the
only start
frustration.
with, because you're working for dad, but you're working in different departments, or
Yeah, and I think that I'm not, I see what you're saying, but yet I'm not following it, because I don't know how many organizations are out there like that. What I'm saying.
Everybody, it should be.
No, what I'm saying, you work for a company and you bid a job in, and that rate is that job.
Yeah.
And whether I've been there 25, 35 years, I don't get nothing for longevity.
Okay, but like the aircraft companies do in Wichita, you move around a different department, but you still get your 25 and 30-year.
Well, and
Yeah,
over
you
the
do.
years.
You get recognized,
Yeah.
but you don't get no special rates for it.
Over the
So-
years, do you not move up though in salary?
No. No, if you did that job, I mean, you get yearly raises for your position, yes. So,
I could see the longevity within the department and then moving to the next tier and staying on that year of longevity. But if you move to a different department, I get it.
Well, it depends on which, I mean, if you
Because you're
change
starting at the
to,
bottom.
You get penalized
You
if you
haven't
get
learned all
promotion.
the parts of that department yet, so you made that choice to take, you bid into
Yes.
that.
There's arguments both
Both sides.
directions,
Yeah.
there really is.
I mean, it's a feel-good thing for the employee, say, I've been here 25 years.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a feel-good thing when you have been here 25 years and somebody that's been here a lot less time is
Yeah.
making the same or more than you.
Yeah.
So
That
that's
has to
the
be
problem.
corrected.
Yeah.
That's the area that needs to be addressed.
Yeah. So I just wanted you to be aware of it. That it would
There's
be a
every
good
side
thing
of it, I mean.
to
like,
look at.
yeah, and I think you can understand that I'm bidding a job in and that job pays that much, whether I started 30 years ago or not. I mean, yeah, you know, but now what they've done in my company, they've cut my position off. There will be no more of my positions after I leave. They're still there, but they do not appoint very many people to those positions.
Phasing
So,
it out.
Phasing it out, that's what they're doing.
Well, and all
They've
these
got a new
positions.
position under me that's somewhat close.
All these positions do have a pay range.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
you're in this position, so it's between this and this. It's just that some people are stuck in a spot on
Okay.
that pay range, and it's a spot they don't feel is fair based on their years of service.
Now,
So-
we have, the other thing that comes into this is your pay range. Just talk about that. Your
Mhm.
pay range is from here to here, and you get up to the top.
Then you don't.
And we've had people in our company get to the top of that pay range, and that's it. I mean, there's nothing more they can,
You have to go to a different job.
you'd have to go to a different job to do, increase your pay.
And that sometimes backfires, because
Yeah.
they'll go to a different job.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, and that's one
True.
reason when you do cost of living, we actually also adjust the ranges.
Yes, we do, right,
So
yeah.
you can at least always get the cost of living
And
generally.
that has happened with us too, that the adjustment happens in your pay grade, goes
Mhm.
up or whatever, so.
Right. So, anyway, just another thing to think about. We are gonna have to address it at some point, probably. And that's one reason that there's, what Melania calls compression, and you'll hear about that on next week.
Okay. Okay. I think that the pay plan, as you'll find out, it goes more than just this kind of stuff. There's a whole lot of things.
It's pretty complex.
What?
Pretty complex.
It can be, yes, very true, to make everything try to be fair to everybody. And
That's why it's been put off.
Well, I don't know. That could come down to a budget thing.
Yeah, it does, it does. Exactly,
Always does.
yeah.
Always.
All righty. You got anything else?
Nope.
Okay, we've covered overtime pipe, and we'll know more about that next week, overtime pay. I have nothing else under administrative business. We'll move to public comments now. Anybody out there in the public, chime right in.
Randy, this is Sharon with Planning and Zoning.
Yes, go ahead, Sharon.
I would just like to thank the commissioners for attending the Planning Commission dinner last night. It's nice to have your support and be able to have that time to visit with the Planning Commission members and the commissioners.
Well, we appreciate it. I think it's a good time for us, and yeah, I mean, it's just one of them times, once a year, we appreciate to have that chance. I know we can attend every meeting, don't want to put no pressure on them to vote anyway or a certain way like that, but no, it was a good deal. Thank you for inviting us again.
Yes, thanks. Your presence and your support is appreciated.
Any other public comments? Hear none, see none. Moving on to commission comments.
We were talking earlier. One thing that come up on me this week was there was some open positions, and it got posted that we had hired new individuals, but nobody knew that we were looking to hire. So all they see is that we're looking to hire, and then all of a sudden we're the bad guys because we need more people for the county. And nobody knows out there that those positions are vacant and they needed to be filled.
On the advertisements
Yeah.
that goes out,
Yeah.
this is not saying that it's to fill a position,
Right.
it's out, to the public, somehow public.
It's like we're adding another
Adding
position.
positions, okay.
And I had to clarify it, and they were hot. They were upset about it, and I said, no, it's in fact, there's 2 positions open.
Yeah.
Struggling to, keep it going. So I just didn't know if there was anything we could do to rectify some of that, to make more
Yeah.
awareness that.
County's always
Unless
hiring.
you reword your ad to say that they are open positions. I'm not sure exactly
I don't know.
how those ads are.
All I know is I got unexpectedly.
Well,
Jumped
the
about.
bottom line is the public's just reading the paper and saying, oh, they're adding more to the county, add more employees. And
That's
we're
not
not
the
saying
case.
that it's to fulfill open positions is what,
Yeah.
how would be a proper way, Tina, for you to address something like that? Is there anything that you can think of offhand that would?
I can send an email to the department heads about it.
Okay, but right there,
I
you
mean,
just said,
when the way that, just in the wording of their ad, that it would be, of course, maybe sometime they are gonna add one.
Yeah.
But if it's an open position.
Looking to fill.
Looking to fill an open position. I mean, I didn't realize there was that much public perception that it was the other way, but
Yeah.
what you're saying, there must be some.
Yeah.
Got one person at least.
Yeah, I mean,
I've
everything
never
comes
had
down to
anybody
some
really-
simple communication. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm
But
not
what
trying to
Tina
spend
just-
money.
What
trying
Tina
to-
just said is, and that's it's each department opens the ad for themselves, correct?
Mhm.
So we do have different ways of going out there, many different ways, and it could possibly sound like that.
Yeah.
And that's the person that you're talking about. Don't follow that we
I
have.
mean, even if it just said, looking to fill open positions at, operator, whatever, or transfer station.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Fill
think
vacancy.
one word takes care of it. It says open.
Maybe a directive to all department heads is to fill open positions, whether it be a position in the jail, or a position in the clerks, or a position at the transfer station, looking to fill, somehow a directive, Tina, to just open position. I don't know whether
Okay,
that's.
I got it.
Or vacated position or
Something like that.
something so that they know that the position already exists.
No, don't put vacated, then they think we shouldn't fill it.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's open.
Okay.
Yeah, open position, so it sounds good. Well, we'll try tackling that, see if that can help. With any other commission comments?
I just, next Wednesday, I told Marcy that I would, help her every week with the parking. And I got Midway Motors gonna supply one person. I didn't know if any commissioners wanna help part-time, or don't feel like you have to.
I don't.
I'd be probably willing to help this week.
Yeah,
Yeah,
as long as your knee holds up.
I'd help too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's-
I've got to check, I got to
Oh,
get
well,
some.
I'll- yeah.
Well, I wasn't there last week, so you can take the week off.
Oh, okay, okay. Well,
Yeah.
thank you, appreciate it. But I will check, because I want to, 24th, I'm going to have to, next month, I'm going to have to be there, because I want to get my second shot.
If
Follow around.
We can talk about next week too. I'm
Yeah.
just putting that out there that
Yes.
I'm gonna,
We'll coordinate through Dave.
I can take the time to do it every week.
And
I'm
didn't
gonna
Deidre
try.
Corliss put up there when she was talking this morning that if anybody would like to help, to contact them? Yeah, and I'd like to open that up to the public too, that there is some positions, like she said, runners, it was in the position we was in last week, we was trying to figure out how to keep people close to the building, parking close to the building without being too close to the building, and organized somewhat. So there's outside need just as well as there's inside need
Well,
too.
I've been talking to a few businesses, and they would all like to help. I think if we get the word out there that if each business in the county could send a volunteer,
Yeah. Just so the health department knows it, yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
I planned on trying to help with as many of them, and then,
Oh, yeah, I
and
mean,
then,
we all
if-
got jobs, but,
and then if we get an abundance of volunteers,
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
I'll give my personal piece on what I know up to this point and
Yeah,
go back to work.
I think there's plenty of people out there that would volunteer.
Just make some
Especially if
contacts.
you could say the weather's gonna be decent,
yeah, right.
which it looks like it's gonna be next Wednesday.
it's gonna be
maybe.
dry and 50 degrees next week, supposed to be.
Okay.
That could change.
Any other comments?
Just a real quick one on the strategic planning, probably should involve our elected officials in that, because that's how, I mean, not just a commission strategic planning, but open it up, to at least invite our elected officials to participate, because we're all in it together.
What do you mean by elected officials? Do you mean county officials? Or
Yes,
do you mean?
yeah, I'm sorry, yes.
Are you talking about the?
County level elected officials.
Department heads.
Yes, department.
5
heads.
other elected people.
Sorry.
So, but no, not the other department heads?
Appropriate department heads.
I'd say all department heads.
Okay, now you just made,
No,
wait a minute, we gotta find a building first before we can do that. To either go to the lake, maybe, or do something for sizing and distancing. Because
We'll be able to use this.
It's too small.
yeah,
Do you want to start off with just the elected officials and then bring in
As needed.
department heads?
Well, that's
like-
still quite a few, that's,
Right, I'm just saying, rather.
Well, I think some of your department heads that, you know, are involved in some of your need, you know, like space needs
Right,
and some of
right.
those topics you wanna talk about. I mean,
Yeah, they need-
planning and zoning and health department and ambulance, I mean, some of those, none of them are elected, so,
Just,
anyway.
just wondering, you know, if you're trying to come up with a direction,
Mhm.
and then you get all these other ideas. I think it's good to bring them all in, but I just don't want it to be
I think
not productive.
I think a facilitator will be ready for that kind of environment,
Maybe
to
our
be able
first
to
meeting?
keep you focused in. I can mention that when I get the communication from them this week, guys. I expect I'll get it this week, so.
maybe they'll come up with a plan, first of all, meeting with us, and then the next meeting may be with everybody, the second meeting may be with a group or something.
Or if we did it with the group first and everybody put out what they feel their needs are,
Yeah.
what the county
Yeah.
And
needs
then
are.
condense back down the
You
other
can
way.
condense it from there
Okay.
and then get a focused path forward. And I think it's probably a good idea because those people are your eyes and ears and
Yes.
how things are running in each department and what the needs maybe actually are, so.
And again, the facilitator will know how to
Mhm.
Yeah.
bring that all together, but they need to be involved.
Yeah.
and the city, and Marion has a nice setup in the basement that could handle 20 people probably. And then they got video conference and already set up to make it easier on your part.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the size. I have to double check.
But, you know, it's a pretty big room and they have lots of desks and chairs. Just something to look at,
Yeah.
instead of the lake hall, you have the hall.
Yeah,
over
where
there.
you don't have a video conferencing thing, if we go to that, which we might have to
It doesn't
sometime.
have to be recorded.
If it does, we don't have to live stream it.
Oh,
Do we? I mean, you could.
If the whole
You could bring that
commission
out.
is here, it's a special meeting.
right. So we would do whatever our
So,
same
yeah, it would have to be-
capabilities. I mean, we
I'll
aren't
just throw that
required,
out for.
we aren't required to, but it would be an open meeting.
Oh, yeah.
So people could come.
Sure.
We wouldn't be required to
Yeah,
do
to be
this.
online.
But a work session, you can, you know, once you bring the other departments in, then it becomes a meeting, yeah.
Well, anytime you get us
It's a
together.
meeting
It's a
regardless.
meeting.
Right, but you could have a work session, and the public can still come and listen, but they
Right.
don't speak.
Well, and that's what this would be.
Yeah.
The public wouldn't be
Right.
able to speak at this.
Right.
I would highly recommend it.
Absolutely.
Something like this.
Right.
This is a
Yeah.
work session for the
Yes.
county staff and you, and
Yes.
the public
Yeah.
is not
Yes.
speaking in this.
That's why they'd be welcome to come, and then you can still use just the camera setup and throw it out on
Right.
YouTube later.
Okay.
So do you want me to proceed with seeing about doing it with the department heads the first meeting then?
Okay. Is
Okay.
that the straw poll here?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not opposed to using the city building either. I
Well,
mean,
no, I would just,
I don't know how many people we're talking about, so I'm not trying to.
Yeah, we have about 15 department heads. 14, because I was including, in the past I've included Ricky. And they're their own district now, so.
Okay. Well, we're moving ahead here. Any other final commission comments? With that being said, we have one executive session after this, and there will be no action taken after this. So we'll come back and adjourn after the overtime, or the executive session for 15 minutes. Got overtime on my mind.
You got overtime in your mind.
Yeah. So with that, where's my paper? I don't want to fail.
You won't fail.
Okay. I got it up here somewhere. I move that we recess into executive session in order to discuss personnel performance pursuant to KSA 75-431-9B for number 1, personnel matters of non-elected personnel with the board only, from 10:25 to 10:40. That's my motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Dave, second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I vote.
Okay, back at 10:40.
This conference will now be recorded.
Out of executive session. Make this out of executive session. Commission,
No action's taken.
no action taken. Is there any motions to be made?
I think, in light of some information, I know that we said we weren't gonna make any decisions after the executive session, but, I'm fairly confident in what I know, that I would like to make a motion that addresses that these pod setups have, Deidre in charge, Marcy as a direct, associate secretary to Deidre on these pods, and that Randy Frank run support in anything that they ask of him.
I would second that motion. We have a motion by Jonah, seconded by me, Randy Dalkey, that to run the pods with Deidre as the chairperson, Marcy to be in, she is under command there with Deidre, and that Randy Frank be a support person in whatever he can do to help anything that they need to supply some help for them. So, all those in favor of that motion and second, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, 5-0. With that being said, I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Dave second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye.